All right, GM, it is Wednesday, October 22nd. This is actually a re-recording of the stream that I did pre-New York because my mic wasn't plugged in the whole time. So we're going to go over things quickly again, try to recap what I was looking at then and what happened at the New York Open. So we retraced all of yesterday's move. We had the initial pump for the first 2 hours of trading yesterday and gave back the entire thing plus more. So now we're looking at daily EQs as the main focus on lots of things, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Ethereum's a little cleaner here, but this is Bitcoin's. And more locally, we tried to get a bounce going this morning off of New York Open and hit this supply zone, rejected swiftly right back to the open price. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. I don't love that initial reaction. I was hoping to get a lower high and some continuation, or at least give an attempt here to show that we're distributing something like that, and we did not get that. So a little caution is warranted because of that. QQQ got the pump also off the open, made a new high of day, and now is giving it back. So we want to see this low of day is the most important zone for QQQ right now. So we're going to send an alert on low of day there. And Bitcoin's we're going to pay attention to the relative strength or weakness of Bitcoin there too. We took a SUI long based on this 15-minute uptrend that is now getting broken. I have like a full $40 risk here at 39. But because we had this move into this zone, I was looking for this play. It was a starter position. I'm going to cut some of this right this second to preserve some capital because we took some profit on it on that initial pump up, but we're going to set our stop loss right here, and half of it's going to hit right now. So yeah, we just hit that. So instead of $40 risk right now we're only at risk of losing $25 total. So I'm generally not an advocate for moving a stop loss like that. Like your invalidation is your invalidation, but because of the proximity of that entry and the price action and what I was looking to happen and what didn't happen, I am okay being reactive on trying to get an entry because I'm trying to get an entry within this daily EQ, and I don't want to use up all my ammunition if this ends up being a bear flag continuation. So just being a little cautious there and reactive to price. Because of what Bitcoin's doing too. A lot of times you see this is just the wick of the high of the day, and then you make new lows. So we are behind the trend on the hourly is still a downtrend, kind of sideways. We're not sure if we're gonna. I don't like the rejection off the open there. You know, it's kind of chop city, especially after giving back yesterday's move. So if the bulls didn't show up first thing, then I think there's less of a chance of them showing up after running this liquidity we're going to see. But yeah, so he's going right towards my stop right now. So we're okay taking the $25 loss on this trade because we finally did flip the EMAs into support and got no follow through on the first break. We did take some profit into this resistance, which is good. So it helped us a little bit on cushion, but not ideal. Kind of chop city mind games. Maybe we won't get hit and we'll go to new highs. Who knows? Another thing I'm playing is AVNT. And AVNT is one of the clear 4-hour EQs. I have a really small position in this. Extremely small because it's a starter, just to recognize, almost as so small that it's just there for me to realize that I have a position and I'm looking for this 4-hour EQ as a reminder. So we're seeing maybe we'll tighten up and we get a move back down here. It'd be nice to get an entry there. But for the time being, we have our entry and we have alert set on the break, kind of a double top right now on the 4-hour on AVENT. Back to Bitcoin. Yeah, not ideal. But this is just moves off the open, you know. Could be something like this. Get this big move and you make the lower high somewhere in here. This lower day is really important on QQQ and Bitcoin today. And because we didn't get that strong move off the open like I was looking for and what I made my entries based on, I need to give it some more time to digest. So, gonna go for a bike ride, keep the mind healthy, keep the body healthy, and see what kind of transpires. This is a large supply zone that now needs to flip into support. If I go to daily, like I said, we get the EQ on the daily, but a pretty big rejection yesterday off of daily EMA 12 with a huge upper wick, but still viewing as an EQ, still on the rising MA 200. It's kind of the battle between the bulls and the bears. Bears are kind of showing their hand, but bulls have an opportunity here to step in. So we'll see how that transpires. Oh, look at that. Say, took half our position out on Sui, and we actually didn't hit our stop loss just yet. So we're staying alive and staying in the game. If this does get stopped out, that'd be like a $25 loss after a $6 gain yesterday. It's just capital preservation. I'm trying to keep track of all my attempts and make sure that I'm not going on tilt and really taking actionable setups that are trending. So let's give this a chance to trend. Maybe we get some move up. If not, that's fine. We get a bear flag off hourly. EMA 12. The EMAs are less important when we're in these sideways ranges. I have to remember that. This isn't like a trending move unless you go on the daily. Then it's a trending move down. So you have the daily EMA 12 above, but we are on a daily EQ. So my hope here is that this is the bottom of a daily EQ. We just got oh, look at that. QQQ, new low of day. So that's going to cause some weakness in Bitcoin, I would think. Or it's going to show us that Bitcoin's holding low of day, where QQQ is making new lows of day. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You can see if relative strength in crypto exists there, or it's just a laggard and it's going to follow suit. So yeah, QQQ new low day, bearish open, set some more alerts. We're going to see if this really starts to waterfall down. We're going to see how Bitcoin reacts. I would think most likely would be that this hourly bear flag confirms and we go to new lows, maybe hourly oversold. But if we hold the lows and QQQ struggles, then it's showing some relative strength. So these kind of intricacies really are powerful and matter. And it's something I do like to pay attention to, especially since joining Chart Guys and how much they pay attention to these relationships. It's really been helpful. So that's Bitcoin live. It's not really too much in trouble. I mean, we got a 2-minute downtrend, but mostly sideways. Look at this range. We're contained within this price range here. Sure, there's some kind of, yeah, we're just sideways here. You can also run this range. Now we have a range high, range low, deviation, and we did run the low of open without follow through right now, and are back up towards the POC here. So not the worst look, honestly. Let's see how Sui fares in comparison. Yeah, there's just more volatility with these alts, and dominance is making new highs. So it's definitely not a clear downtrend on alts, especially since yesterday we were looking for this kind of almost be a double top, and we have alerts at here and here to roll over. Not seeing any kind of bullish and bearish momentum there, and QQQ continues to drop, and Bitcoin continues to try to have some relative strength, but QQQ would almost need to bottom out somewhere around here for that to be almost a spring for Bitcoin here. But let's check. Let's set an alert on low a day. And I bet Sui's got to be close to being stopped out yet. So we got the 5-minute wick, 5-minute EMA now being tested as resistance. But let's see. Let's set an alert here for low. Just kind of switching back and forth. AVNT, like I said, looking for that to tighten up. And Bitcoin's trying to hold on here compared to the Qs, which are way down here, you know. And is there a reason that this would be an area for QQQ to bounce? So the ideal scenario would be some kind of cup and handle where this 4-hour retracement, that is not the right tool. This 4-hour retracement stays healthy, stays above 382. We get some sort of cup and handle to new all-time highs. That'd be the ideal scenario that bulls want to see. Even if bears take their shot short term, it doesn't make anything meaningful unless they really get down here and invalidate these setups. So that's what I'm watching. Looks like we're starting off the day with a little L on this SUI trade, but zoomed out, was trying to get this daily EQ and hoping this would be the higher low, which it still could be. It's still a possibility. So, but it looks like our first attempt is most likely going to get stopped out based on this price action, although not guaranteed. QQQ continues to make new lows. Yeah, so QQQ, kind of a free fall right now. We're setting alert at the 382, see if that holds this bull flag, or now that we got this big drop here, do we get a 15-minute bounce to just make a lower high? Yeah, there's my alert on SUI making a new low, and Bitcoin rolling over past the value area low as well. So alt's weaker in general, but not stopped out just yet. My stop on SUI is 239, and we're at 240 right here. So maybe luck will be on our side, but technically it's not showing any reason to hold this area. The liquidity is under here. If anything, I would think it would take it and go, since we didn't get the clean continuation that I wanted off of the top here. Yeah, QQQ probably got a 2-minute stair step forming, kinda 2-minute stair step. New low day again. And we're just bouncing between the three markets here. Bitcoin is holding this value area low, which is nice, compared to QQQ making new lows. So maybe there's some relative strength here with crypto holding the lows and QQQ not holding the lows and really waterfalling down here on the 2-minute. It would need to get a bounce going for that to be possible, but we'll see. I did look at, when I did my original stream before this happened, I looked at dominance, I looked at total, which is also just testing. Same as yesterday, we went over ETH dominance, 8 weeks now of low into EMA 12. We want to see in this range we have drawn, we want to see the 12.5% mid-range hold on Ethereum dominance. Total 2 is a daily EQ as well, which is interesting because some names have clearer daily EQs, some are kind of downward sloping, and it kind of just shows the strength or weakness of a name. USDT dominance back towards the range highs that we were watching from down here, and we hit on the liquidation, then we retest. So you really want this to be the top. You don't want to be above 5.29 on USDT dominance. Above there, the whole market is a little bearish, especially since we're starting to trend up on the 4-hour. Got a little bounce going on the 4-hour for Bitcoin against gold. Yesterday, we got this big 12-hour trend change, and now we're looking for a 4-hour lower high or EQ. Most likely scenario is still a weekly lower high, but definitely some relative strength there, at least short term with gold topping. And that could just mean that gold is dropping at a higher rate than Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a little relative strength, even though it's going down. So that's something you have to be aware of on these ratio charts. Solely, nothing to look at there. So we're just keeping an eye on the opening shenanigans, the New York 1-2, as they call it, and holding that value area low. Going up towards this POC. If we can flip this, and really need to get back above here for any confidence, 109, 100. I would be looking for, if we do get a bounce off this daily EQ, key area for me is all in here, 117 to 118, because we got these 3 taps of the highs here. I think if we go towards these highs again, we're going to blow through them. I don't really see, I think we're going to blow through them, but I'm going to let the price dictate that, not try to predict. I'm just seeing a Model 1 distribution that has already happened on these divs on decreasing volume, and then we got the large bear volume down, and a lot of times these wicks like to get tested or filled again before going up. But so I think the burn is clearly on bulls still when we zoom out to the daily and weekly on Bitcoin. But that said, if we look at something like the monthly, 0 red flags, lots of room for a monthly high or low. So we're just taking it one time frame at a time, multi-time frame analysis, the name of the game, and trying to get some entries in some day trades that could turn into swing trades. That's what I'm really trying to get positioned in and have a max risk for the day trade set. And if that ends up being the bounce I'm looking for, I'd zoom out to other time frames and keep my eye on the prize and give myself a chance to actually have a big move and not cut it too soon. But we're doing a lot of round tripping, trying to find a bottom, a lot of indecision, a lot of fight between the bulls and the bears. So QQQ trying to bounce here, but it needs a 1 minute uptrend to start, and struggling to even get that back towards new low there. So we're gonna set alarms on that. Watch QQQ, BTC, and maybe we get some off the back of that. We get some silly trade, but Bitcoin really needs to get above this high, and then we watch the reaction if so get above the high as well if it had relative weakness or relative strength. Because right now Bitcoin is fee free as well, so there's really no reason to be trading an alt when the Bitcoin dominance is going up and up and up, unless you think that it's an area that it's going to top out, and then you get a little relative strength and we go to take this liquidity. That would be like your thesis by trading alts versus Bitcoin right now. Anyway, that's what I got for now. Gonna come back in the afternoon after this ride and after some lunch and try to do a recap video and try to see what happened here after the open, because now we're an hour into the trading day. Didn't get any significant bear follow through, so I'm gonna look at my notes and mark, did we get bear follow through, and see if in the next 4 hours things kind of fall apart or we continue to have relative strength, because QQQ is trying to get a 1 minute trend going, but it's really struggling compared to Bitcoin respectively. So anyway, let me see if I missed anything here. Right now my win rate's around 51%, so precision is key and not using up all my ammo. So trying not to put the cart before the horse, getting positions in case this is a lower high in a daily EQ is somewhat anticipatory, where we could wait for the EQ to break and have the price tell us. So that's why I'm using smaller positions and getting risk-free as soon as possible, but keeping an eye on these could be expansive moves and pivots. So yeah, just trying to let the charts breathe before reacting and observe, interpret, and act in that order. So just trying to have what I'm feeling versus what I'm seeing and not be the same thing. So anyway, wrapping up this flow session today was all about patience and confirmation, and let the market show its hand instead of predicting it. I mean, if bulls start proving themselves in these alts, we'll be ready because we have a small stab at it, but only if structure confirms. Remember, process first, outcome second. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time. Let's stay in the pocket, stay fluid, and stay focused.